Let's see what it's in. We got this beautiful heart and lock paper envelope. Open it up. I am gonna guess it's a stencil. Let's see if I'm right. It is a stencil. Oh, look at how pretty this is. All right, I'm gonna grab some things. I may do one off camera first because I think I'm gonna use some glaze and let it dry, and then I will come back and film the whole thing when it is done. That way you can see it swap out right away, even though I could probably show you live, but I'm going to test it first, okay? I will be back. Okay, I'm gonna show you what I have done with this stencil. I've taken 3 Simon Hurley inks. I have Rosy Cheeks, Prom Queen, and Love Bomb. And I'm just doing some ink blending with some blending brushes. Doesn't have to be a perfect color, doesn't have to be a perfect blend. Now, the Rosy Cheeks is a felt pad, so I might have to, I have to rub it really more, where the other 2 are part of the Stellar ink line, and they're a foam pad. And you'll see here in just a minute what the difference is. So just do a little bit of Rosy Cheeks. And this is the Prom Queen. I can just see here now, I can just tap it. And then I can go in and rub it. I'm not super, I'm running over a little bit. It doesn't have to be a perfect blend because I'm gonna cover this. So I'm just kind of going around. I'm not worried about my blend being perfect. I'm not worried about them blending with each other too much. And then last but not least, well, I might add just a little bit more of that Rosy Cheeks there. I will tell you, I apologize. I have a little bit of a head cold. Here is the Love Bomb, which is a nice, kind of a maroony red. Very pretty. I went in a little too hard right there, so I've got a little bit. I'm okay with it going over a little bit because I am going to cut this down. I'm not terribly worried about how it is. Just getting the color on there is all that's important to me. Okay, it looks like I did a lot more of the light pink. That's okay. Blend a little bit more right here just to blend those colors. There we go. So like I said, quick, fast blend. And then put those off to the side. I'm going to wipe this off very carefully just to get the excess ink off. And I will show you that why in just a minute. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just get a little bit of that extra ink off. Now, this is a second sample for me. I probably should have masked off the sides, but I'm going to make it work. Because like I said, we're going to cut this out. I have some Fallen Snow glitter glaze, my favorite glitter glaze, made by Brutus Monroe. And I'm just going to grab I like the silicone spatula from Nuvo because even if it dries on, silicone tends to easy wipe off if I forget and get it on there. And I'm just going to go ahead and put this all on. I'm trying to get a nice even coat. I'm actually going to move my magnet. Like I said, if it gets over a little edge, if you wanted to do this as just a layer card, you could mask off the edges, but it's not going to end up being important to me that way. Now, one of the reasons I wiped off the stencil was because this is a water reactive ink, like most dye inks are, and you can actually get this colored, and if you go back in, you can color your glaze. So if you're worried about it, take some out, put it on your desk, and then just use from there. I wiped mine off pretty good, so I don't have a ton of color. There might be a tiny bit of pink in there, but not enough anyone's going to notice. So keep this piece if you need to. That will help keep your ink from your glaze from drying out. And then go ahead and clean up right away. I'm going to just wipe this off. And gonna ready to peel and reveal here. Like I said, I did this a little crazily. Look at how pretty this is. Now I have a bin of soapy water off behind me here. I'm just gonna drop that off in the back. Actually, I'm gonna try to sweep some of that up there. I'm gonna set this off to dry because I hit it in a couple spots, but I can make it work. If you do that, you can take your paintbrush and just kind of smooth it out. You can also, oh shoot, I hit it. That was a really bad thing, but that's okay. Just wipe it up a little bit, clean my brush off. Wipe that off a little bit. We're gonna cut this down, like I said. I'm rushing a little much. Sorry about that, people, everyone. And you can take this and kind of tap it. I'm just tapping it on those brushes, and that kind of helps too, kind of like you did with Nuvo drops. But it dries pretty flat, so I don't worry about that too much. But tapping it sometimes helps kind of, if you get a little few peaks, like I did in that one spot right, I have one spot right here. It'll tap it down a little bit. But that's not necessary. I usually don't have to do that. And then I'm just going to set this aside to dry. Through the magic of television, here is my dried version. Look at how beautiful that is. You can see all three of those colors. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to take some circle dies. Let's have some nesting circle dies here. And we're going to create a wreath. And I'm just going to eyeball it and see which one I think works the best. I like that one. So I'm going to grab some sticky tape, some washi tape, and tape that down in a couple of spots. I'm just kind of eyeballing it just to see that if it's overlapping any, it's kind of overlapping. I'm going to go for it. I can only cut this once. And then let's see for the inside. That looks pretty close to me. Not sure I want to cut that out yet. So I might just cut it out as a circle first. Then I'll decide if I want to cut out so I'm going to go ahead and, run this through my die cutting machine. Let's see what that looks like. I just cut into my magnet. Oops. That's the first time I've done that. That's all right. And perfect. I love it. So like I said, I maybe overlapped a little. It cut a little bit of the circles off on this side and not, but it works for me. I just don't know if I want to cut out the center. I don't think so. I think I'm going to make this be part of my focal point. I'm going to leave it just like that. What I might do is find a color glitter stock. Let's see here. I am going to use, don't know if I want the confetti. I'm going to use, actually we're going to use one of these. I think I'm going to use one of our overlays to cut out a circle. So I'm going to go ahead and cut. I'm going to use this one. This one is the, let me pull the right name for you out. Actually, I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to grab one of these. This is the cluster of hearts because I have some smaller ones cut down already. I'm going to go ahead and cut out a circle there. This is so pretty. I don't think it'll cut open, so we'll just cut it right there. It cuts out so pretty. We may lay this on a circle of another color. So let me run this through quick. Oops, need the rest of my plates. wasn't paying attention. I wasn't paying attention. It went right off the end. I've actually not had that happen before, and it fell on the floor. Okay, so we're going to pull this out. I'm thinking, I don't know if I want to have it be right here in the center. I'm thinking I'm going to do it on a color because I think that will be prettier. So I'm going to grab some lipstick cardstock. And we're going to do the, see this beautiful lipstick looks a lot like that prom queen. What prom queen? Yeah, prom queen. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a circle out with this as well. Just cut down a little piece. There we go. So all I'm going to do with this is peel it and stick it down. Now, I probably should have stuck it down and then die cut it out, but I got it pretty close. And then you can see in the light, see that pretty color? So we put that right here in the middle. Okay, so we need a card panel to put this down on. And I am going to grab the Gentle Love paper. This was a paper pad from last month. I am really I love this color. I kind of feel like I need to order some more of this paper because I think I want to use this. Let me see. We might need something a little more subtle. What happens with this green underneath? I do want to use a pattern paper, but we might need something a little bit less. See, I think that's just not, how does that look? Nope. I really do want to use some of this paper, so let's look through the whole thing and see. I think I'm going to use this one. We're going to use the same colors. It's a little deeper color. It's kind of got this Love Bomb. So I'm going to cut this down to an A2 card panel. I'm going to go ahead and cut it down. Actually, I'm going to cut it down to 4 by 5 1/4. So I grab my A2 card base and we put this down on it. Got that white edge. We've got this, and I'm thinking we're going to do it with we've got this. Now we just need an image and a sentiment. So I'm going to go do a little bit of looking around to see what I got and come right back. I got Theodore's Valentine and stamped and cut him out along with a sentiment from from Theodore's Valentine stamp set from the January release. Go ahead and get this all put together here. Pretty fun little card. We'll put our background on. I just stamped him out on some Perfect Blend paper, colored him, stamped him with some Raven Detail ink, added, used the SVG cutting file and colored him with some Olo markers. I did the R's If you're wondering what color I used for his, I'm trying to decide. I think I went the light pink at the top. We're going to put this more towards the top. Go ahead and pop up the center here. This, I like the idea of popping up the circle with the overlay on it. Like I said, I am trying very hard not to sneeze while I am videotaping this for you guys. So I apologize if my nose is sounding. All right, I'll save that little piece for another day. All right, let's pop that down. Now the overlay foils are, have a coating on them. So you may have, I have one little spot here that I didn't get down. So I'm going to cut that with my scissors. So a rough edge there. Go ahead and stick that down. So you may want to use some sort of double-sided adhesive. I am going to grab some just, I don't even know, double-sided type tear it tape kind of here. And we're going to add him to the background of my little mouse. Fold that little extra piece over. And then I'm going to add a little bit of liquid glue too, just to kind of reiterate that that's there. I think I'm going to put him over here on this side, and then I will use a little piece of the double-sided adhesive to put my sentiment on there as well. And once I peel that off, we're going to add a little bit of liquid glue, just because I like to reinforce that. I'm going to go ahead and put that down right here. I must admit I love you. And I have a few little extra hearts left over for some other projects that I'm just going to go ahead and put 1 or 2 down, 1, 2 there, and maybe 1, 2, 3 there. These are just some hearts that I cut out and have been sitting on my desk. This is some bubblegum glitter stock. And we'll add just a little bit of extra sparkle to our card. And I will make sure they're good and dry before I play around with my card too much. So here is day 5 of the Valentine countdown box. This one is a little bit more of a love card. I know I'm trying to not do too many, but you could always change this up to just be hello friends, you know, or sending love to, if you did not want to do the I must admit I love you. But I thought it would be fun to use that sentiment. I hadn't played with him yet before. So there you go. I will see you guys back here for day 6.